that looks better. I need to check if this thing is echoing, because if things are echoing, I will not be happy. It's already bad enough trying to do this across two different platforms, like a PC and a Mac. I'm a PC, I'm a Mac. But for real, if there, I can do it on this one, even though it doesn't have a jack. Let's go into Facebook and see if it's doubling up. If it's doubling up, then I will have to cancel this and then redo it and fix the things, because I'm trying to be clever, and it's not about being clever. It really isn't about being clever. Let's see what's good. Come on. I can do it on this one, even though it doesn't have a jack. Come on. Clever. It really isn't about being clever. Let's see what's good. Okay, cool. I can do it on this one. It's so meta. Beautiful. Yay. Hello. I'm live. I'm alive. I'm barely alive. I think I'm alive. What is living? What is life? What is living? As and when you watch this, if you watch this at a later date, some of you do, which is interesting. I like you guys. I like your faces. I haven't seen your faces. I don't know what your faces look like, but I love you anyway. You may have noticed that the previously delayed and rescheduled and now non-existent episode, which was meant to be Barefoot Hooligans, is not actually on here. And that is because I want it to be a really good episode, and I haven't had enough time to do the research that I was intending on doing on making it a really good episode. And I don't like doing subpar things, for the most part. I realized most of these podcast episodes are me just shooting from the hip for about 40 minutes. So I could structure them. I know there's been comments where people have been like, you go all over the place. Yes, I do. And there's a reason for that. To normalize squirrel brains. We have squirrel brains. And I am normalizing them and also showing you the ability to have a theme and to kind of meander through it, but still ultimately get to the end point at the end. That's all that matters, getting to the end at the end. So if my meanderings throw you for a bit of a tizzy, I am not sorry. That is welcome to my brain. Welcome to a small fraction of what happens in my head all the time. My business mentor, sometimes, I reckon she's just like, this woman's a little bit crazy. She's a bit crazy, but it works. So today's episode is a little bit different. It is the pious world of toxic positivity. And it's going to be a quick one. It has to be a quick one because I'm interviewing a person for a job. I'm not being interviewed for a job. I am interviewing someone for a job for the business, which is exciting. It's all grown up stuff. Oh my God. So this is all preamble that I'm going to delete anyway. If you are not following my podcast, you should do it. If you enjoy it, I don't know. If you don't enjoy it, then don't do it. But I will put the links up as usual. This will get pinned, and then I'll put the podcast links in there now to give you guys no excuses not to follow. And then the episode will be out. I think I'm one episode behind, so this episode will be out next week. Or maybe I'll do all the episodes this week. Who knows? Who really knows? I don't even know right now because everything is freaking hectic at the moment. And I'm exhausted. So I think now would be a good idea to actually start the episode. Yes. Also, the usual thing, if you're coming in now, if you're coming whenever, let me say this. Hello. Say hello. Even in passing. If you're hanging out for a while, ping in a message. You won't derail me, I promise. Smash. Okay, interesting. It won't post to my personal page, but it'll post everywhere else. Right, let's get it started. Hello once again. That was a little bit dramatic. Hello, welcome once again. It's another episode of the Getting Shiggy With podcast with me, Shiggy. Or if you're watching this live on Facebook or YouTube, my chosen name for today is Shigglypuff because reasons. Just no reason, just for my own morbid amusement rather than curiosity. And yeah, we're back. We're in the pilot seat, rider seat, pilot seat. I think it's a pilot seat. Getting things done. Things are a little bit squiffy at the moment because I bought a PC. First time in I think 18 years I've actually owned a PC, and I've been trying to switch streaming things over because I'm upping my streaming game. I might actually start gaming again, which I don't know if that's a good idea because the swear words will be immense. I will start making up new swear words. It will be very, very funny for some people, and not for other people. But today we are going into the pious world of toxic positivity. Ooh, scandalous things, Shiggy. Whatever are you talking about? Well, dear human, if you hang around, you might find out. That was almost poetic in nature. So when I talk about the pious world of toxic positivity, I am probably going to try and avoid being a really grumpy grandmother about this whole thing. I'm probably going to fail miserably. I might actually enjoy being a little bit grumpy today. Even though I'm not in a grumpy mood, my body does hurt because I've been going to the gym and I'm back at jiu-jitsu. I don't know when you're listening to this, but at the time of recording, the UK is kind of sort of opening up and I have my little jiu-jitsu bubble now again, thank God. So it means I'm being crushed basically all the time because my jiu-jitsu has gone out the window. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. It's basically cuddling in really expensive pajamas, and they're not silk. They are cotton and very painful. But I digress. The pious world of toxic positivity is probably more a frustration than anything else, and a accumulation of lots of observations. There's lots of uns this morning when it comes to good morning, Phil. Good morning. How are you? How are you doing? When it comes to just trying to be better, everyone wants to be better. Everyone wants to move forward. Everyone, wants to kind of not be stuck in pain. Everyone wants to not be stuck in the bad things, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. But if you, for a moment, try and imagine someone who's constantly happy and constantly positive and constantly just denying the fact that there are some bad points, there are some low dips in life, it actually gets really annoying because we're human. We're not a robot. Some of us maybe are, but we're ultimately, we're not joy bots. Wait, joy bots, that might be misconstrued as something. Don't misconstrue that as something else. Yeah, we ultimately, it's quite likely that if we stayed in one state or another state for far too long, bad things actually start happening to our brains. I mean, if you imagine having your brain loaded with serotonin 24/7, you would burn out. You would actually burn out. And if you've ever been on the club scene, as I am, there are people who take various different substances for their enjoyment, and some of them go too far, and then they go into a bad place, right? Yay! It's a Tuesday and the sky's blue, the grass is green, and I'm happy today. We like it. I am happy too. The background is an amazing shade of just white. It looks like I'm in the depths of hell, but actually, it's glorious out there too. So, high five for that. With the club scene, people take too much stuff, way too much stuff, and the bad things happen, right? You drown your brain in serotonin, and you're massively depressed for days and days and days. Some people get stuck in that. Some people's brains are just like broken, and that's it. You know, and that's why we have things like antidepressants. So if you're too far gone on the other side, We have medication and things and stuff to try and pull you back to at least a level of mediocrity, right? Just a kind of level edge of neither too happy, neither too sad. So when you look at things like that, and then you try and, I don't know, follow someone on social media, which don't, I mean, we all do. We all do. If you're listening to this on a regular basis, you're doing the thing. But I'd like to think I have some semblance of ebb and flow. But I'm mainly talking about places like Instagram, Pinterest to a point, TikTok, Snapchat. I stopped doing Snapchat because that stuff was driving me mad. I am slightly addicted to TikTok though. Um, Even Facebook, like, friends who curate their existence online. I'm totally guilty of this, but I don't really show the happy stuff because I'm like too busy enjoying it to be like, oh my God, let me paint the perfect picture. I have no time. I'm too busy climbing something. A lot of people tend to really overcook this kind of inspirational desire to help people. This is the guise people use, right? They're like, I'm gonna post inspirational things and quotes and stuff to really inspire people. It's like, okay, but where are you in all of this? Once in a while, influencers will maybe post like, hey guys, over the last couple of months, you guys might have seen that like my life has been really amazing and I'm so hashtag blessed, but really I've been a little bit sad. And I'm like, why have you waited this long to do it? I understand, of course, not everyone's going to be able to present how they feel as they feel it right up in front, right there and then. And I'm not making a slight on that. I am just making a passing comment around how even the bad times are overly structured. Like things are too overly structured like sometimes, and we're missing out on the fact that being human is really ugly. And it's good. It's a good ugly. Like I don't understand where like being ugly is bad. Being ugly is just raw. Being ugly is just there. It just is. You can't really, you know, want to try and cover it up, but that's what we do when things are not pretty, when things aren't the way they should be. When society is kind of proclaiming that you should be this and this, it's our human nature to want to aspire to do that because we see happiness, we see ease, we see comfort, we see, you know a good life, we see survival in a weird kind of way. And it shouldn't be that all the time. You can get to that, but is that even what you want? So I'm going to pull it in because I can and it's my show. Being a black female, right? There's a lot of people out there in Instagram and stuff showing lives of like, wearing really boring clothes, really boring, bland clothes. And I'm just like, okay, one, your clothes are not aspirational. I do not aspire to that. Okay, one. Number two, the things that they get up to, sun tanning, going somewhere amazing with like an amazing culture and stuff, and all they're doing is lying on the beach tanning themselves. I'm black. I tan in 10 minutes. Like, I probably haven't posted a picture up in a while. I'll probably do it when I go outside today. I will literally show you my skin is so thirsty for the sun. It's ridiculous. I don't do sun tanning because I just get weird tan lines for the rest of summer. I'm not going to do that. So you got that. And then, their idea of happiness isn't my idea of happiness because I've spent a long time unpacking and trying to figure out what I want, right? And what I want is not like a big house. I don't want, I live where I live because it's comfortable. I've tried to look at moving to other places, but I actually hate 90% of the architecture in London. I like cottages. I like little bungalows, little twee. I know it doesn't look like me of all people. I like little twee bungalows where everything's on the same level and it's all cozy and fun and just it's just neat and tidy. I don't like these posh things with all these new edges and all that kind of stuff. Did I mention I was probably going to be a grumpy grandmother today? Did I? Well, here we go. So, if we understand who we are, if we understand what we want, which by the way keeps on changing and evolving, it's not like you do this one time and then you're like, okay, I'm done. This is it. This is who I'm going to be. Okay, here I go. I'm going to be this. No, it doesn't work like that. It changes. You will change. You'll constantly change, and change is good. You're supposed to. It's okay. But pulling it back, when people are trying to share their aspirations and they overcook it, it becomes really problematic, because they become a prisoner in their own world of aspiring, inspirational, hashtag insta quote, whatever things. And, if you make your income from being this inspirational, aspirational people, it's a problem because then you lose who you are. You're not allowed to change. And that's really bad. If you're not allowed to change because you've branded yourself as this specific person, you can never, ever, ever not be that person unless you want to lose your business. One person who's popped into mind is, I'm probably going to get taken to task to this, but I don't care. A person like Tess Holiday, right? Now, I know they are in a very different space and aspirational and aspiring to bigger sized bodies, which is fine. I'm totally here for it. Do what you want to do, as long as you're happy. But if they decided they wanted to change their body, they would lose their branding. It wouldn't be the end. They would have to kind of probably do a lot of talking, a lot of live streams, a lot of explanations, a lot of this, that, the other, because you're allowed to change. But the problem is when you're up in public like that with so many millions of followers, you will be taken to public court and you will have very, very angry, scathing keyboard warriors who will cut you to size on your changing. All right. And on the flip side, you could be one of those people who followed someone specifically because they represented this, 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 and this, but then they've changed and now you're upset because you've lost your representation. All right. But it's not their fault. They're allowed to change. You're allowed to change too. You can just be like, oh no, they've changed. Why have they changed? Why weren't they happy? Why were they showing this happiness and then they killed the happiness, or they weren't happy and now they're changing, right? That's allowed to happen. We are not ones, and I mean even in computers and stuff, there's ones or zeros, like either it's on or off, which is a little bit too clear cut for what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, change is allowed. If you're at the top of this spear, you don't need to fall on it, just go change it to another one. What's Phil saying? Two type of holiday goers: those that sit by the beach and those that do things. I like to be doing things all. Exactly. Like that's what I love doing. So I stopped following influencers, or I stopped following fitness and health and wellness influencers because I was I am a personal trainer, but I've become my own personal trainer, my own style, and I attract very specific clients now. And with that, all these channels, profiles that I was following, they were actually starting to bother me because I'm like, how is that inspirational, aspirational to me? Because I want to go do things. If I'm in another country, if I'm in another city, I want to go and see stuff. I want to go and do things, with my jiu-jitsu. If I go anywhere, and this is a plan, but stupid lockdown's kind of thrown that out a little bit. But if I travel anywhere, I'm going to have a gi in my backpack and I'm going to go roll at the local academy, right? Because I want to experience that. That is part of what makes me happy, is being part of a community. And there's bouldering community as well. So I've got two communities that I'm a part of and actually somewhat capable of rolling and or climbing. And everywhere I go, that's what I would want to do. I want to get involved. So that's a challenge because I might go to jiu-jitsu, and I do go to jiu-jitsu, and someone's going to smash me. Someone's going to completely obliterate my game and pull it apart, and I'm going to be thankful for that. I'm going to be thankful for a really sucky situation where I lost and I got beaten by somebody. They could be a higher belt. They could be a lower belt. It stings a little bit when it's a lower belt. But, if they've got more skin in the game than you do, then them's the breaks. But ultimately, that's a good thing. Same with climbing. I go out and climb somewhere and a couple of roots. I did maybe one or two roots, but for the rest of the day, I just had my ass handed to me by a bit of rock. That's a good day as well. So, with all of that said, these wellness and fitness profiles and stuff, they're too cookie cutter, right? Some of them do kind of do the thing to get the followers, and then they start shaping their actual space into what they want it to be, which is great. And I actually still follow maybe four or five of those who have done a change, which is really interesting to see. But a lot don't. A lot just do if you're a man, you have to have, a tapered body and you're topless all the time and you're always glistening in sweat and maybe like sprayed on baby oil to make you look like you're in a gay porn magazine or something. There's these weird things. And I don't think people actually kind of ask themselves why they do these specific things in a specific order. But they're always just parroting. They're always parroting these things constantly. And I don't think it's good for them. Maybe they fooled themselves, or maybe they're not even really engaged in what they're representing because there's a tasty paycheck behind it. So, they're essentially just, using their bodies to make money, which is fine, But I'm just saying, you as an individual, you need to kind of take ownership over what you are allowing into your brain, into your eyes, into your ears, and into your mouth. But with this, it's ultimately eyes and ears, what you listen to, what you read, what you see, what you watch. Because it will do a number on you if you don't pay attention to it. And then you start kind of doubting your skills. If you're working for yourself, I've been running through this actually for the last couple of weeks, where a lot of self-worth just starts just kind of dissolving and disappearing. And I start asking, like, what is the point? Why am I doing this? Why am I even doing this? I could just go back to doing XYZ, but I wouldn't be happy. I mean, I'm not exactly happy right now, but I'm doing the work that I need to because I know later on this is going to be freaking amazing. And even this episode, I'll probably listen back to it in like 3 years and just be like, wow, like, I'm glad I didn't stop. So for you in your space, I want you to think about, why are you doing things? Why do you follow people? Why do you listen to certain people? Why do you engage in stupid arguments on the internet? Stop it. I know it's lockdown. I know being on your own at home kind of sucks. I've been there, although I've got my cat who's currently drinking some water in the background. There he is. He's there. I know it sucks right now if you're on your own and, things just really aren't working out. But ultimately, you can change. You can always change. There's always an opportunity to be a little bit better, to disregard stuff that doesn't work for you. Disregard profiles and people and, I don't know, blogs. If they change and they're not for you, that's fine. You don't need to even make a song and dance and tell the person that they're wrong for changing. Let them do their thing. If they're not part of your world anymore, they're not part of your world. Just unsubscribe. That's it. Wow, this was a really short episode. I got to say everything that I wanted to say quite quickly, which is interesting because when I wrote this episode down, I remember distinctly I was very, very, very annoyed. And I wrote it down because the angrier I am, I'm going to try and show this. I don't know if it's going to. The angrier I am, the more neater, the more tidy my handwriting becomes. And that is very, very, very tidy handwriting. Usually I write like a doctor, like doctor prescriptions. I usually scribble things down. So I was clearly very, very annoyed. And now I'm not. So this is the episode. This is gonna be it. I'm gonna wrap it up onto a tidy, maybe 30 minutes. It might end up being less than that. If this helps at all, do the usual thing. Send me a message on Facebook. Send me a message on YouTube. Hello, YouTube people. You're apparently a thing. Send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram. If you can find me on TikTok, send me a message on TikTok. Something exciting's coming up with that one. An old character of mine is coming out of the wardrobe. That's going to be interesting. But I'll leave it there with a bit of an enigmatic close. Um, Phil, I'm glad I help. I'm glad I help, and you know, you can do it. You can definitely, anyone can do it. Like, I'm winging everything I'm doing right now, just so you know. The business side of things, like AudioFi, literally was a Facebook post a friend made, and now it's a business, and now I'm hiring people. Um, there's a lot of hot messes in the back end, but it's still going forward. Like, mess is required to go forward. So yes, you can do the thing. Just always remember to check in with yourself. Like, check in with yourself constantly. Not too much, because if you check in with yourself too much, then you start going a little bit crazy. But check in a healthy amount. And if at any point you don't feel something's right, and it's that gut feeling, it's not like, you can logically think, oh, I don't feel great because of X, Y, Z. It's like, why is there this weird, almost like a child? Um, your mess is your message. Exactly. We like it. Exactly. But if you ever have this feeling where there's like this kind of, I have a cowering child that I look after. So if I ever feel like my shoulders are shrugging up and I just kind of want to shrink and stuff, I will hold on to that and I'll try and figure out why that's happening. Like, what is right in front of me that is really challenging or unknown, or there's always something. And like, when you can feel where it is in your body, this is a little bit woo, but it's valid. So when you really check in and feel where that is, you can kind of just start addressing it and trying to kind of pry it open. And kind of, for me, it's just trying to open my chest up and just stand with this thing and be like, what is it, where is it coming from, and then just kind of just run through what's been happening in my life. And if there's anything that kind of like, dips down, so everything's a 5 is good, 7 is exceptional, but 5, a solid 5 out of 7, 5 is good. And if anything dips down to like a 3 or a 2, so just various different things, I'll take all those lower things. And then if there's something out of there, like maybe I got a message from my family member, which I did last week, and that kind of jacked me up a little bit. You take that out and you're just like, okay, how do we make this better? You just, you got to do that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit of a digression. I might expand on that in another episode. I think I might have done a previous episode, but always more than happy to come back around to these type of things. I'm gonna start bringing other humans onto the show. I think I mentioned this 2 episodes ago. I am finding a list of rather splendid humans to talk to. It's going to be so much fun, but that's going to be happening in autumn. Oh no, we have to wait until autumn. Yes, you have to wait until autumn. It sucks to be you. Joking. So again, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. It was very, very short, and oh, I like this tune. Yeah, if you are listening on Facebook, thank you so much for listening to this live. If you're listening on the repeat, thank you for listening to it on the repeat. If you are listening to this as an actual podcast episode on your favorite podcast directory, thank you so much. It's really appreciated. And yeah, basically that's the episode. It's a super short episode because my message was already there, because I'm in a good frame of mind today. And I hope you are too. And if not, check in with yourself. Have a walk, go have a drink of water, get out of the house. Get out of the house if you can, if you're allowed to, where you are. And yeah, until next time, I love your face. And don't always be happy. Just be human. I think that's what we're going to do. Just be human. Okay. Boom. Okay, cool. That's the outro. Done. And I can stop with record. I actually pressed record on Spreaker before I started recording on here. Ah, I am a genius. Ow, my arms hurt. Oh, don't go to the gym. Gym is painful, but it's necessary. No, do go to the gym. Lift heavy things, put them down safely, and your body will love you forever. And also do your stretching. Do your stretches. Do your stretches. All right. I am done. and I've got to set stuff up because I'm interviewing someone. I'm so happy. Again, thank you so much for jumping in. Phil, thank you. Tega, thank you. Thank you for the likes and stuff and things. It helps with this because I do this every Tuesday. I'm doing 100 of these and then I'm done with this one because I got something else in the works. I've always got things in the works. They're all going to be really, really, really exciting. Um, of yeah. Wait, no. Oh, you just posted. There we go. I mean, you obviously are like, duh. Like, um, no, well, you're not gonna cry because we're gonna have. You might cry from laughing because the way the interviews are gonna be, um, they're gonna be fun. They might not be live. We might not be able to do them live because I just need to. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Like, yes, Taika is obviously gonna be one of the people interviewed on there, but I don't think we're gonna do it live because, yeah, some things might need to be edited out. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I have no filters, but um, it is what it is. So yes, Taika, you're going to be on it, and Phil, don't ugly crying, ugly crying. Okay, one last thing and then I'm going, and this is a behind the scene exclusive. Ugly crying is the most satisfying thing to do. I know it's always kind of wait, happy tears are they can be a different thing. Stop it. Um okay, ugly crying and happy crying are two of the most joyful things you can do. And I say joyful, I mean happy is joyful, but ugly crying is really cathartic. Like if you're just angry and you're just raging and just everything's so frustrating and you just kind of just go back to being a 3-year old. How do 3-year olds deal with most things? They cry. Like either they laugh uncontrollably, which makes everybody else laugh uncontrollably. I don't know anyone, unless they have those things where like hearing high pitched noises from a baby actually drives them a little bit loopy. But you hear a baby crying, like full on, like just guttural laughing, like an old man, but with like a tiny body's voice. Fucking hilarious. But equally, just full on, like, same thing when a 3-year old is about to just have a meltdown and you hear a bang and then you hear silence. And everybody, if you know what's coming, you're just like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And you see the child's mouth open up and nothing is escaping yet. And then all of a sudden, just this roar of just everything, pain, confusion, like incredulity. I can't even say the word. I just read it. All of that shit, right? Just all comes out at the same time. No filter, just wailing. When you do that as an adult, ooh, it's great. It's great. Exactly. Indecipherable mumblings and words and the snot and the tears and the just everything. That's kind of another reason why I hate like London flats because mine you can hear everything, but also like the new ones, the new builds. I hate the new builds. They're too clinical. I don't feel safe enough to turn into my 3-year-old self and just full on just like snot, tears, screaming, maybe a little bit of a physical tantrum, just everything. Do the thing. It's super cathartic. I might go do it later. The only problem is afterwards your eyes are really puffy and you have a headache and you have to drink copious amounts of water because you just left most of it on your face. But yes, no, ugly crying is actually pretty decent. What is that? Oh, God, when you get new apps that do scheduling for you and they start doing little things and your Alexa starts lighting up and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? That's happening right now because I'm interviewing someone in 15 minutes. So thank you again for jumping in, for doing the thing. Tega, yes, of course I'm going to interview you. Phil, don't worry, you don't have to ugly cry. But if you want to, it's a very cathartic thing you can do. Just clearing out the pipes, as it were. I think that's the same with happy crying. And I'm going to stop because bad things. So you guys have a wonderful day. If you're watching this on the replay or whatever, put a comment in. I'm on Facebook all the time because obviously, and I'll read it and I'll interact and I'll give you a heart and I'll give you a hug and all that good stuff. In the meantime, have a wonderful Tuesday and I will see you probably online somewhere. Okay. Ciao, ciao.